If life were a board game, not everyone starts at the same square. Some people get to roll twice before you even touch the dice. Some start with free properties, safety nets, or shortcuts already built in. And others start the game already paying rent on their very first turn. It's not a conspiracy. It's just how the board is designed. Where you're born, who your parents are, and the opportunities around you, those are dice rolls you never got to choose. But here's the thing. Even though the game isn't fair, it's still learnable. And once you understand how it works, you can start playing smarter, no matter where you began. We like to think everyone gets the same chance. That if you just work hard, stay disciplined, and make smart decisions, you'll eventually get ahead. And while that is true for later in life, and the only real way to succeed, not everyone starts out the same way. And with globalization, that disparity is noticeable now more than ever. In reality, the board isn't level. Some people start with more pieces, that are dice, or even an extra roll every turn. They're not cheating, they're just benefiting from systems that were already stacked in their favor. Things like better education, family support, or early exposure to money. Meanwhile, others are learning the rules as they play, trying to stay afloat while everyone else is already moving ahead. And the most dangerous part? Most people don't even realize the game is uneven. They assume the winners just played better, and the losers didn't try hard enough. That illusion of fairness is powerful because it makes people blame themselves for outcomes that were never evenly matched to begin with. But once you see the difference, you start to notice the patterns, and that awareness changes how you play. Once you understand that not everyone starts with the same chances, you begin to see how early advantages stack up. Some people get a head start before the first roll even happens. Maybe their parents covered tuition, helped with a down payment, or taught them how money really works from a young age. Those are all extra turns, and each one adds up. Starting without debt is another massive advantage. When your first paycheck doesn't go straight toward loan payments, you can save, invest, and build momentum right away. That's how wealth compounds. Not just through interest, but through time and reduced pressure. Meanwhile, others begin the game already behind. Their first move might be taking on debt just to go to school. Their first job might barely cover bills. And instead of rolling for progress, they're rolling just to stay on the board. It's not about jealousy or comparison, it's about awareness. Because the sooner you recognize where you're starting from, the sooner you can plan your next move with clarity, not frustration. That's why you have to decide how you play. And that's where learning the rules makes all the difference. In any game, the players who understand the mechanics always have an edge. Money works the same way. Most people play without ever reading the rulebook, spending impulsively, borrowing carelessly, or saving without direction. But once you understand how the system actually functions, you stop reacting and start planning. Learning the rules means knowing how compound interest works in your favor instead of against you. It means building an emergency fund before chasing risky investments. It means realizing that debt isn't just numbers. It's future time you're selling away. Saving and investing consistently might not look exciting, but in this game, consistency beats luck. Every dollar saved and every smart decision is another square forward. Over time, it's the difference between barely keeping up and quietly building freedom in the background. And at some point, you realize that complaining about the board doesn't change the game. You can't control who started ahead, but you can control how you respond to where you are. That shift in perspective from blame to strategy, is what separates players who move forward from those who stay stuck. Some people start the game in survival mode. Their goal isn't to win big, it's to stay in the game long enough to build stability. For them, the first step might be saving a small emergency fund, paying off high-interest debt, or learning the basics of budgeting. Those early turns may feel small, but they build the foundation for everything that comes next. Others might have the breathing room to take calculated risks, starting a side hustle, investing more aggressively, or pursuing opportunities others can't afford to chase yet. The key is understanding your position, not envying someone else's. Because when you know where you stand, you can start making the right moves for your situation. Not just copying what worked for someone who started with more dice to roll. The players who win in the long run aren't always the luckiest. They're the ones who learned how to think differently about the game. Once you understand your position and start making moves that fit your situation, the next step is simple. Stay in the game. Progress in life and money rarely happens in big jumps. It happens slowly, through hundreds of small, consistent decisions that compound over time. This is the part most people overlook. They want fast progress, overnight success, or one big roll that changes everything. Just because someone online invested $500 into Fartcoin and turned it into hundreds of thousands, doesn't mean that's the norm. If anything, it's a one-time event, not a strategy. The real power lies in patience. Every smart financial move, saving regularly, investing early, avoiding unnecessary debt, adds up in ways you don't notice at first. That's how people actually climb the financial ladder, not through flukes, but through consistency and discipline. The earlier you start, the more time works in your favor. It's like earning extra turns just by being consistent. The people who seem lucky often just gave themselves more chances by staying disciplined when others didn't. You don't need a perfect plan to win. You just need to keep playing long enough for your strategy to start working. The ones who lose aren't the ones who make mistakes. They're the ones who stop before compounding ever gets the chance to do its job. The game isn't fair. It never was. But once you understand how it works, you stop wasting time complaining about the rules and start focusing on the moves you can actually make. You might not have started with extra rolls or free spaces or a head start, but that doesn't mean you're stuck. Because while you can't choose the board you were handed, you can decide how you play it. And that's what learning about money really is. It's not about chasing shortcuts or trying to copy someone else's success. It's about understanding how the game functions so you can make it work for you. Once you know the rules, you start seeing opportunities where you used to see walls. You realize small moves matter, patience pays off, and luck tends to find the people who stay in the game long enough to deserve it. So don't wait for the perfect roll. Don't compare your turn to someone else's. Just keep playing, one smart move at a time. Because in this game, you don't win by starting ahead. You win by learning faster, playing smarter, and never quitting halfway through.